to point out. But when you need to talk about something good, it's hard. Let me give you, for instance, example. Yesterday, I had one of our former students. She's continuing education. She was work study. She has amazing history of being a manager, and she was just had this great resume. And this whole part was empty skills. And I'm like, hey, what's going on with skills? Like, why? She says, I have the biggest trouble putting this part in it. I do not know how to talk about myself, right? So me and her had to sit down together and come up with the strengths that she knows she has, she just don't know how to word it, okay? So it's extremely hard to write a resume, and then what's really important to always keep updating your resume, okay? So the classes that you take, or maybe you have a specific project that you were helping out, or maybe you had a job that you had a different experience, you always have to update your resume, okay? So if you take a look at the samples that I gave you, those are the samples that I give up to my students prior to going to their externship, and also anybody that comes asking for help for a resume. So these are 3 different types of resumes, okay? They are all very, very professional. The only thing that is a little bit different from one another is the formatting, okay? It looks professional, but just for some reason, guys, if you're medical assisting, they love this first one, okay? Medical assisting, pharmacy, surgical tech, they usually like the first one. But that doesn't matter that the second and third one is not good. It's your own preference. So when you're writing a resume, it needs to look like one of these 3 things, okay? There's different components to the resume that are very, very important, okay? And you should never left out any of these components. So let's start with first things. You want to make sure to have information about yourself on the top, okay? So you need to have your first name, your last name, your address, your phone number, and your email. Let's talk a little bit about an email. What's a professional email?
First and last name.
First and last name, perfect. What else can you use? Can you use the numbers? Is that okay? Yeah, absolutely. If you want to use initial letter of your name and last name and couple of numbers, that's perfectly fine, okay? Papi Chulo, long legs, at Hotmail, guys, doesn't do very well. And long legs, I'm saying that as an example because I really had a student, one of my former grads, brilliant. Man, this lady's brilliant. And she's like, I cannot get a job. And I'm like, send me a resume. And sure enough, it was long legs. I'm like, wow, that's your professional email. Don't ever use that. That's your personal email. Don't ever use that on a resume. And she got a job a month after. Okay? So they will not look at your resume if the first thing they're seeing is longlegs@hotmail.com. They're going to toss it in the trash, guys. Trust me. So make sure to have a professional resume. Your phone number needs to work. And also, very important, you should never have that background noise when somebody's calling you and there's like Beyonce on the background. You're jamming, right? It's not professional, okay? Very, very important. Let's talk about voicemail. What kind of voicemail should you have? Should you set up? What's professional? If somebody calls you, you need to leave a message. If they call you, HR calls you for an interview.
Just your basic, like, mention your name, your first and last name.
Okay, first and last name. Sorry I missed your call. Be very polite. Make sure to ask for their phone number, and that's it. So very simple, okay? None of those things like, hi, if you were my ex-girlfriend, I don't owe you money, or if you're my parents, whatever it is. Don't. I mean, they're funny, guys. Let's be real. They're real funny. I've had some great ones from students, but they're not professional, okay? So if you have, or you know what to do after the beep, like I've had those a lot, please don't use that. Be professional. Hi, you reach out, Nina. I'm sorry I missed your call. Please leave your name and number, and I will get back to you within 24 hours. Thank you, and have a great day. Is it okay to put thank you and have a blessed day?
I don't ever use it. So.
What do you think, guys? To me, I don't mind at all. But what do you think?
It's getting more sensitive with that.
It's
nowadays.
getting more sensitive. I was just reading an article that it's getting more sensitive, and that you don't know if that person is religious or you never wanna a chance about making that person mad. Okay, so it's hard. It's kind of like walking on the eggshells, but you just want to play plain and simple. All right. Any questions about personal information that we've discussed? No, pretty simple, guys. All right, then we go to summary of your skills and knowledge. Okay, this is where it gets a little tricky and a little hard for some students. This is where you are going to put all of your skills that you have learned from your education and from your past experience as well. Okay. The really important thing, guys, when you are applying for a certain position and you want to send their resume, you need to print out what are the requirements for that position. I can't stress this enough, guys, because I'm sure that after you graduate, that you have half of those requirements, even more, that are on there. You just don't think about it, okay? So if somebody says that you need to be able to speak Spanish, work in a team, and have great attention to details, and you're like, I've worked in group settings here in school a lot. I speak Spanish, and I have great attention to details. Boom. Those are already 3 skills that they are looking for that you have. They need to be on here, guys. They need to be on here. These big corporations, I mean, thousands and thousands of people apply for jobs. You think HR ladies like, let me go and get it, one by one. No, they don't do that. It goes through a machine, picks up the keywords, and then say, oh, okay, this resume has 60% or more of the keywords. Let me take a look at it. If it doesn't, it goes to trash. And you might be even way more qualified for that job than other people. Okay? Does that make sense? So really, really important. A lot of things now that I go to a lot of job fair, guys, and I talk to recruiters. I love working with people, so I have no problem talking to recruiters. And I'm always like, what are you guys looking? Like, how can I make my students stand out a little bit? No joke, on the last job fair that was at Norris Conference Center, 7 recruiters told me, I need somebody that show up on time. I'm like, really? Not like a special skill or something? No, I just need somebody to show up on time. So, if you're punctual, should you put that you're punctual here in skills? Absolutely you should, okay? So you might think it's not important, but trust me, it is. Listening skills, guys. Wow, you can get fired for having bad listening skills, okay? If you're a great listener, put it on here. Put it on here, really important.
So you are recommending that they list their skills prior to their education and
yes.
Okay.
So prior to education, like what are your work experience that you have? I had a student yesterday say, well, I only worked at Walmart. I had 5 years of experience in Walmart. You have amazing customer service skills then, because it's hard to work at Walmart, guys. It is hard, isn't it? You know, come on, Walmart, Target, H-E-B, it's hard. You're dealing with all kinds of people. For you to stay in that place for so long, bet you have great customer service skills. Put it on here, okay? So what you've learned from education and from your past experience needs to be on here. Always print out the requirements, put it on here, and see what you have so we can add it. Yes, sir?
What if we have like certifications, but, I mean, they expired already? I mean,
I would not put it.
okay, so-
If they're expired, that's a great question, and that's somewhere we're going to come to education. Guys, if you're any medical assistant here, no surgical tech, no pharmacy, no, what are you?
A lot of criminal justice, right?
Are these our students?
IT.
IT, okay, great, IT. What do we have business here?
Paralegal.
Paralegal, okay, paralegal, very important to talk about research, all right? And law enforcement too. What else? What else do we have here for majors? Business? Medical. Healthcare administration, okay. Very important to talk about HIPAA and insurance and all those stuff that you're going to learn later on, okay? So a lot of times students forget to talk about their skills that they've learned here in school, okay? I had a medical assistant student Not talking about any of the medical assisting skills like phlebotomy, for example. Phlebotomy gotta be here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for sure.
Mhm.
All right, so don't forget those things. After you're done with your skills, then we move into education. Okay, education. Of course, your Brown Mackey students. That's going to be your first education. So it always follows chronological order from the most present to the past. So you're going to put Brown Mackey College, Associates of Science, or Bachelor's, and then you're going to put your degree: Business Management, Healthcare Administration, Paralegal Studies, and then expected date of graduation. I can't stress enough how expected date of graduation is important. And let me tell you why. Let's say you're a student in bachelor and you have 6 more months to graduate, 8 more months to graduate, and you find this awesome position and you are qualified, but they require a bachelor degree, okay? Should you apply for that job? Yes. You don't have a bachelor degree right now, but you're gonna have it in 6 to 8 months. So why wait? Because they might look at your skill and experience like, man, this person really has some management skills. And look, they're going to school, they're going to be done. Let's give them a chance, or her, okay? Don't be scared, guys. Apply for that position, right? If you want to list certification, that's where certification would go, right here, in education. Make sure to put the expiration date of your certification, all right? If you attended some other schools for a longer period of time, then definitely put it in. Or if you had an associate's degree from somewhere else, definitely put there. Okay?
If we attended but didn't graduate,
How long have you been in that school?
it was several years.
I wouldn't, because you had a gap after coming. I wouldn't put it in. That's a good question. Or sometimes students like jump from colleges to colleges and they put all of them in. It doesn't look that good, which is not a bad thing. You just wanted to see if that college is for you. Really is not a bad thing. But we want to show a little bit of consistency. That's a great question. Any questions about education, guys? No? All right. Then we go into work experience. Work experience, very important to be to follow chronological order from the most present to the past, guys, not vice versa. So you're going to put the name of the place, your position, and the bulletin points are all your job duties, okay? Very, very important to list all of your job duties. One of the things that I see that students are struggling a lot in writing the job duties is they write it like they're at their job, okay? They sit down and say, when I come to my job, this is what I do first, and this is what I do second, and they kind of write like a big paragraph, okay? HR takes about 5 seconds looking at your resume. Can they read from top to bottom in 5 seconds? Very hard, right? So they're just kind of like skimming through your resume. So it's really, really important to use bullet points and go straight to the point, okay? Straight to the points, what were your duties? One of the things I also tell my students, it's really important to put any kind of accomplishments that you've done in that job, okay? Let's say you work in insurance or you work in sales, just in general, okay? And you were like a top salesman of the year, okay? Put it on there. Or the percentage went up extremely after you joined the company. Put it on there, right? Then that would really make you different from other people that are applying, okay? I put it on my resume too. When I joined career services, the numbers of the placement of students went completely up. You think I don't put that on my resume? Oh yes, I do. Oh,
Number
absolutely.
one in the number 1 or number 2 in the company?
Right now we're number 2 in the company. 25 Brown Mackey colleges, okay? So it's big. It's exciting, and I'm proud of that. So why shouldn't I put it on a resume? Somebody might take, my friend might take a look and be like, oh, you know, she wants to make herself look good. I don't care. I need to look good for an employer. Okay? So don't take other people's opinions. No. Put it on there if you say. Then you go to the next job and the next job. Okay? Really important to be nice and clean so they can take a look at it really quick. Okay? Any questions about that? Yes?
How far should you go back?
Oh, great question. They recommend 5 to 7 years. If you really have to go far away, then no more than 10. Great question. Guys, what happens if you have gaps in your job history? Like it says that you haven't worked for like 2 years.
Need
You
to be
have
able to explain it in the interview.
Thank you. Absolutely. Is this bad? No, it's not bad. But just be ready to explain it because they will ask, why have you not been working for 2 years? What are some of the good answers?
Taking care of like somebody in your family that's sick.
Thank you. Taking care of somebody in the family that's sick. What else?
Full-time student.
Full-time student. It's a job, guys. Full-time student. What else?
Served overseas.
Served overseas. Absolutely. What else? Do we have mothers here or fathers? Yeah, taking care of a child. It's a full-time job, I hear. I don't know yet. But those are all great things to say. Why haven't you worked for a while? Okay? So don't be embarrassed about that. Absolutely not. Okay? Guys, can you lie on a resume? Is it illegal to write on a resume?
No, just gotta be.
Should you lie on a resume?
No.
Never lie on a resume. I always ask this question, they're like, no, no, no. Is it ethical? Guys, don't lie on resume. Because you know what? They will find out very, very quickly that you lied on a resume, okay? Let me give you a perfect example. I went home to visit my parents, and my dad has a bicycle factory. And he needed somebody who speaks fluent English to talk to China. And he's like, I've had this few people apply, can you please interview them, but interview them in English. I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. So I'm starting an interview in my native language, and I have their resume, and I said, sir, I've seen here that you says fluent in English. So that's perfect. We're definitely looking for somebody like that. And then next question was coming in English. So tell me a little bit about your strengths and weaknesses. And he just went blank. Like, oh my God, I do not know how to answer. And he was like, and he just took away and left. All 5 of them, guys. All 5 of them. Do not put that you are fluent in a language if you're not. What does mean fluent? Yeah, read, write, and speak. Yes, guys. I understand Spanish like 99%, no joke. I have really trouble speaking because I'm confusing Spanish and Portuguese because my husband is Brazilian. So I always put that I'm conversational in Spanish and Portuguese and fluent in English and Serbish. Does that make sense? So when they ask me like, oh, you said you're conversational, like, can you explain what it is? I said, I can read, I can write and read, understand everything, and I will be able to assist that customer right away or maybe direct them somewhere else, okay? Very important. Do not ever forget to put that you're bilingual. I can't stress enough how that important is, because I get calls, I get leads, companies telling me, send me somebody that speaks in Spanish. So it's a huge advantage here in San Antonio, okay? Even if you think like you're not fluent, put that you're conversational in that language, because you never know. It doesn't have to be Spanish, it can be other. Anybody speak another language in Spanish? No? That's fine. If you speak any other language, put it on there, okay? Any questions, comments, concerns about the resume so far? Let's talk about writing style a little bit. Time New Romans is really important and it's easy to write, you were talking about that last
Yes,
time.
it has to do with the Times New Roman is a serif font. In other words, it has a little swish on the end of the letter that connects it to the next letter, which allows it to be easily read by the eye. It's quick, versus Courier and some others that don't have that, and so it actually slows down the eye. And so if you've got 5 to 7 seconds of time from a person, you're going to want them to be able to assimilate that information quickly.
Absolutely. So that's something I've learned and I use a lot. So Time New Romans, usually 12 point. If cannot fit in one page, then you can go ahead and make it 11 or 10. I wouldn't go anything below 10, and that's really, really too small. Yes. Don't be scared if your resume is going to a second page. If you have a lot of experience, then it's definitely going to be a page and a half. But it should never be a lot of spaces in between, okay? And if you have trouble with that, let me know. I can go ahead and fix that for you, okay? So it's really, really important to everything to fit on one page. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your references. Like Mr. Meyer was saying, references should never go on your resume, okay? it should always be a separate blank page of references. Who should be your who should be on the list of your references? Co-workers, supervisors, managers, uncle, and no? Okay. No personal, no uncle, no aunts, no sisters, no cousins, no friends, none of those, okay? Can you use your instructors? Absolutely, okay? Instructor that you had for few classes that know what kind of student you are and you think that they think highly of you, absolutely. Before you put anybody on your reference list, very important to ask them first. Hey, would you mind being on my reference list? Can I put you? I'm applying for this job. Oh yeah, absolutely. They might say no. Should you take that personally if they say no? No, absolutely. So let's say I leave this class and one of you come to me and say, hey, can I put you on your reference? I would unfortunately have to deny. Why? Because I don't know you guys, right? You might be awesome student and a great worker, but I don't know you. But if you took a class with me, one or two, oh, I would for sure get to know you, okay? And definitely accept you. I'm on a lot of students' reference lists, and employers call me a lot. They really do. Some of the things to include in your reference list, you want to include their name, their position, really important, their position. Guys, the higher the position, the better. It just looks good. If I was going to apply to another Brown Mackie college or even another university, I would probably ask Mr. Wolf to be on my reference list. And he knows me as an employer and he would probably say yes. So would it look good that I have a president on my reference list? Absolutely, guys. So if you have great relationship with somebody higher in your company, ask them. You'll be surprised. They'll probably say yes. They know you. Okay. So their name, their position, their email, and their phone number. Okay. Those are the four things to include. Very easy. And then you go to the second one, the third one. You should always have 3 to 5 people on your reference list. Always. When you're going on an interview, they usually have your resume up front, but have a couple copies with you, just in case. Do not give them reference with your resume right away. Wait for them to ask, do you have reference list? Oh yeah, absolutely. And then you pull up the reference list. As soon as you leave that interview, if they ask you for a reference list, they mean they're gonna call those people, or one of those. And then you take a phone call and say, hey, Mr. Wolf, I actually had a great interview here at university or whatever. They're asking for my reference list, they might be calling. I just wanted to let you know. Oh, okay, sure, no problem. So when they call them, he's not like, oh, Nina, who, right? So you always want to remind them. I just got a reminder yesterday from my student that they applied at Lorica, they might call me. I was like, no problem, thank you for letting me know. So now I know when they call what Chris they're talking about. Come on, there's too many Chris's here in school, okay? Any questions?
So you mentioned writing style. Can you talk a little bit about how one would communicate one's skills and so forth in the job duties? Like, for instance, you said not to write a long paragraph. So does it necessarily have to be in complete sentences, for instance?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So for instance, you were working on a project. Okay, so a lot of the other day I saw somebody like working on the project with 4 people. I was the main person on the project. Okay, so you would put in charge of a project and then a name of the project, and that's it. Okay, if you are overseeing a group of people, okay, I'm in charge of 5 people, and these are the list of things that they are doing. They don't care about those people, they care about you. So being overseeing or overlooking of a team of 5 people or 10 people, and that's it. So really straight to the point. And that's a great question, because a lot of times students just go on and on because you guys think you're writing a paper, and it's not. And trust me, these things, this is where people struggle, everybody. If you have questions, come see me, come see your instructor, give it to your friends so they can take a look at it, okay? Really important. Like, if you have great customer service, a lot of times students would write down all of these things that they're doing in their company. That's all under umbrella of customer service, okay? I work with students all the time, and I really, really try to be very pleasant and to listen to them and to solve their problem right away. So how would I put that? Great customer service and problem-solving skill. That's it.